We're down to the line all the way around. So I'll put that in the vise this way, and we'll get the smoothing plane out and take all the marks that the triplane left, and just take long strokes, finely set so you don't get big shavings, just fine ones, long strokes at a diagonal across the board, and come back the other way. All we're doing now, we've got it virtually as flat as we can with the triplane or joining plane, and now we're just smoothing it to get all those marks out. With this plane I'm using at the moment, I've actually rounded the corners of the blade off, so then I don't get any tram tracks. And that, I think you'll find, is a pretty good finish. And that board actually has some figure in it. So we've got no tear out there at all. Do the same to the other side. Now, to square up the sides, we should still have a mark here. Okay, this one's square to that, and we'll just make sure that's still true, yep. So we've got to square this edge here to the face. And I don't know if we're in or out or whatever. So I've got to take a little bit off on the inside. And again, I'll have my fingers under the sole, but I'll be tipping it so I won't be cutting the side closer to me. I know I'm cutting the edge because I've got a really fine shaving, and I reckon I've got to bring that out to about 6 to 8 mil, or 1/4 inch to 5/16, which is about that. And now I'll do a straight cut right up the middle, and that actually took it off the crown, so I know I must be pretty close to being there. And that, I'm not going to lose any sleep over. Check the board square up the front where we did a saw cut, and it's not. It's a little bit high here. So we're just going to have to plane that back a bit. A movable mouth block plane, it would be better. We'll see how we go. If I have any dramas, I will go to a block plane. I've got this set very, very finely. And I reckon it's going to be darn close to perfect for me. I'll check the other edge. Again, a little bit off of this end. Now I'm planing end grain here, so it's tough grain, and this Blackwood's tough timber, so I'm fighting a battle on two fronts. Make sure your blade is sharp and finely set. If you let too much blade out, you're just going to snag it, and it could tear, and it's not a pleasant way to be doing woodwork. Let's see how we go. That's pretty darn good, I reckon. So what I want to do now is put an edge on the end so you can actually pick the board up. Actually, I might do both sides. So I'm planing upwards and along. It's a skew sort of a cut. I think we'll lattice it all the way around actually. It'll look nice that way. This is a great project if you are just starting out with hand tools. It teaches you measuring, it teaches you saw, it teaches you plane techniques, it teaches you how to read the timber you're working with. And at the end of it, you've got something very useful you can use. Okay, now I just want to clean this end up. So I've got it very, very finely set. And I want to get it so you can see the grain coming through, because there you can see where the saw's cut, and that's where I've planed. And that's what we want. We want it to look good. There you are. Just arris the long sides, and as I said, I could do that in the vise if I wanted to, but I think it's easier doing it this way. I'm going this way because this is the way the grain's going. I'll turn it around so it's easier for me. And there you have a really nice blackwood chopping board that came from a bit of rough sawn timber that was lying around in the shed. And with a couple of hand planes and some brains, you've got it. All it takes is practice, and you will be amazed at what you've actually learnt by doing a simple project like that. If you want some embellishments, here's an idea. It's a beading tool. We'll put a double reading profile on the edge of the board. These are what used to be called a basic scratch stock. It just adds that fine little piece of detail that makes the difference between a nice job and a glorious job. Yes, you could get a router to do it, but as I said, this is hand tools. As I said, you won't see much yet, but when we put the oil on it, it certainly will pop. Now, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm not sure what your expectations are, but for me, I'm happy enough to put my brand on that. And there you have it. And now to really make it pop, I'll put some oil on it. And you see how this will come alive with that little profile. The end grain will take a little bit more oil than the rest of the board because it's end grain. We have a couple of marks left on the bottom of the board, but I think that's okay because it shows it's handmade. But the show part of the board that gets used is nice and smooth. And there you go, a beautiful blackwood chopping board, handmade with a bit of detail on it, on both sides, planed, cut and finished all by hand. What a marvellous way to spend a Sunday afternoon. So I hope you got something out of it, and I seriously hope that you give it a try, because it's only practice and it's woodwork. And look what we've made. All these beautiful shavings. I don't know what I can do with them. I'll throw them in the bin. Anyway, that's back to basics, using 2 new hand planes and a little bit of an extra there thrown in with the detailer. So until we meet again, this is Steve pulling the shed door down, saying remember to keep it sharp, but more importantly, keep it safe, look after yourself, be kind to each other, and I look forward to having your company in the workshop, at the workbench, again very, very soon. Till then, bye for now.